Nobody wants to come to the U.S. anymore. At the beginning of 2025, tourism was estimated to be up about 6.2% this year. So going into 2025, we're going to see a 6.2% increase in tourism. By August, tourism is down almost 8.2% at a loss of $12.5 billion. Nobody wants to come here to this. Who would want to come to a police state nation where the National Guard and all the police and federal agents and ICE are picking people up in masks and people are being detained and disappearing? You got law enforcement on every corner. Who would want to spend their vacation here and deal with that? Who would want to bring their family to a police military zone? Hell, the citizens in the cities aren't even coming out no more. They're staying in the house because they don't want to be bothered with all the stress and BS coming from all the officers detaining people, pulling people over, stopping people, walking up to people sitting on park benches. What's going on? Who would want to be in this type of environment? Like, everybody around the world hates us right now, and they're looking at us just waiting for us to implode, honestly. Both our neighbors to the north and south, Canada and Mexico, want nothing to do with us, don't want us there, and they don't want to come here. They don't want to do business with us. Nobody is feeling any kind of love for the U.S. right now because of our, I won't say, just DJT. Let alone the fact that nobody wants to do business with us due to the tariffs that you impart. So now that you've put the tariffs on everyone, nobody wants to hire. Nobody has money to make new jobs. Nobody wants to import. Nobody wants to export. Nobody wants to deal with the U.S. We look like a country on the edge. We look like we have no idea what's happening in the world. We have incompetent leadership, turning a blind eye to genocide, turning a blind eye to people suffering, rounding up their own people, citizens, veterans, unfortunate, underprivileged, people that fell victim to this system. And there's no heart, there's no intellect, there's no empathy, nothing being shown to the citizens here from the administration that's in charge. Nobody wants to come here. I wouldn't want to come here.
Coming to America anymore, and we might end up losing the World Cup and the Olympics. Right? Tourism fell by 12% last month. That's the most since COVID. With then more specifically, tourism from Germany and Denmark falling by over 30%. It's down by over 25% for Spain, Norway, Ireland, and Austria. Australia and France are down by 7%. And then, on top of that, air travel from Canada, it's down over 75% from last year, in addition to a 32% reduction in car travel from Canada. With us even seeing the founder of Kayak having a lot to say about this, saying, quote, "In just 2 months, Trump has destroyed the reputation of the U.S., shown one way by diminished travel from the EU to the U.S. And saying this is not only one more terrible blow to the U.S. economy, it also represents reputation damage that could take generations to repair. Additionally, another booking site found that 40% of Europeans have canceled their trips to America. And, Trump's policy of randomly detaining tourists and sending them to random prisons or deporting them immediately upon arrival, it's bringing a complete halt to tourism, according to travel companies. And this as there are now growing concerns about the U.S.'s ability to host the Ryder Cup in 2025, the World Cup in 2026, and the Olympics in 2028. Right, globally, people are asking a lot of questions. Are players and fans going to be safe? Can the safety of the Iranian or Venezuelan teams be guaranteed? And that, as others are remarking, that no one's going to be able to go given the possibility of being sent to a prison in El Salvador. Now, that said, FIFA has been downplaying the situation, with one official saying, "Time's on our side with that." I understand the policies of the administration, but I'm confident that once we get to the point where we need to get to, 16 months from now, we'll be fine. But for now, follow.
Hello guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are going to talk about tourism in the United States of America and how it has really taken a hit. This is because most of the tourists from around the world are really feeling that they are not welcomed in the United States of America because of the Trump's policies that are really hitting them so hard, and they are finding it difficult and finding other countries a more safer place to go than the United States of America. Thank you for joining us, and let us listen to the compilation that I have made for you. Thank you very much, and continue watching. And remember guys, if you have not subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much.
The House was recently bragging that border crossings are at an all-time low. Why is that? Oh, that's right, because no one's coming to fucking America anymore. Our current government isn't exactly the friendliest to people that don't speak the King's English. It's not just illegal border crossings that are down. International tourism in the United States has fallen like a fucking rock. In March, overseas arrivals dropped by more than 11% compared to the year before. Western Europe saw a 17% decline. The Americas down 24%. Flights that used to be packed are now running real fucking light. The reason behind these declines is pretty fucking simple. The global perception of the United States has changed recently since the election. His threats, along with horror stories of travelers to the States, have led European nations, along with Canada, to issue travel advisories to the United States. These tourists no longer feel safe or welcome by our current government. This isn't just about the loss of tourism. Those tourists bring jobs, and those jobs are going to be lost, along with tips, and the businesses are going to struggle. Some of them are going to close. Cities like Orlando, New York, Las Vegas are already feeling the effects of the lack of travelers. If this trend continues, the U.S. could lose up to $180 billion in GDP by June of 2026. It's not just immigrants that aren't coming anymore. No one wants to come here.
Did you hear about this? Trump wants to charge tourists $250 to set foot in the United States. This couldn't come at a worse time. Since Trump has taken office, there's been a 15% decline in international arrivals. And we're forecasted to lose $65 billion in tourism spending. People are not coming to this country because of Trump, his policies, and his rhetoric. And his solution is to start to charge them $250 if they want to come here. This is going to crush the already hurting tourism industry. Keep in mind, most countries charge around $5. I don't know. I just don't understand his thinking. It's like he's purposely trying to alienate the U.S. from the rest of the world while hurting our economy. Yes, the government will take in more revenue, but at the expense of restaurants, transportation, events, shopping, and jobs. This has been attempted by other countries in the past, and it's failed. And there's tons of supporting data to prove it. So why is he doing this? If you're in any of these industries, hold on tight. This is going to be a rough ride. And let me know what you think. And smash that follow button to stay in the loop.
The United States is seeing a huge dramatic drop in international visitors.
Because who the hell wants to go on holiday in Gilead? Who wants to go on holiday in Gilead, please? Because I don't. Red is not my colour. It's not. Every other day there's a horror story about someone who has tried to travel to the USA. Every single day. Stopped in the airport, can't get through, held up for hours, being questioned, having their phones looked through, having their emails looked through, having their social media looked through. Why would anybody want to pay for that? Especially when the whole world is there to travel to. The one silver lining in all of this, for everybody else, not the USA, like you lot are cooked, but for the rest of the world, it means that this is going to open up tourism for so many other countries that other people would never really have considered going to. They're going to start going to them now. And I love that for the economies of other countries, because the USA, yeah, you lot are cooked.
MAGA diehards keep chanting, "We don't care," every time someone points out the cost of Donald Trump's policies. International tourists are quietly delivering the one response that matters in Trump's America, which is they're not coming to the United States for vacations. We have new data now from the World Travel and Tourism Council. The U.S. is on track to lose over $12 billion in international travel spending this year. That's a decline of 7%. It's not because suddenly the sand on the beaches is no good. It's not because the theme parks got rid of everybody's favorite ride. It's because the rest of the world sees what the United States under Donald Trump has become: expensive, hostile, and unstable. And they're voting with their passports. Of the 184 countries surveyed, the U.S. is the only one with an absolute decline in international visitor spending. According to the WTC's CEO, quote, "The U.S. has firmly got a 'we're not open for business' sign right now." And that's correct. Germany has updated its travel advisory after several Germans were detained at the U.S. border. Canada, which used to be exempt from most of the short-term visa requirements, now has to register and submit fingerprints for any visit longer than 30 days. That's new under Donald Trump. You've got Canadian Airlines canceling routes due to declining demand. Vehicle traffic at land crossings is down significantly from Canada. So these are not anecdotes. This is an economic warning siren. The largest travel economy in the world is bleeding visitors. And MAGA's response is always, so what? We don't want sissy Europeans and liberal Canadians coming here. Well, one of the things that you have to understand is that overseas visitors spend 7 to 8 times more than domestic tourists when they come to the United States. Canadian visitors spend 3 times more than Americans when Canadians vacation in the United States, and we're losing a bunch of them. So when conservatives and right-wingers brush this off as, oh, globalists are scared and liberals are whining, they are not understanding the math. This isn't about politics. It's about dollars. It's about cities losing tourism jobs. It's about entire regional economies built on foreign travel drying up. And you can't own the libs with a bankrupt hotel. That is what decline looks like. And it is completely self-inflicted because of Trump's policy of punish, restrict, and
What used to be the most visited country in the world is now struggling. Tourists are feeling unwelcomed, and the Trump policies are making them to feel really unwelcome. America is losing revenue, and it's losing a lot of millions. And not only is it losing money, but it's also losing the respect that it used to have in the global stage. I want to hear from you guys. Do you think that Trump policies are making America to lose its tourists? What are your thoughts? I want you to please write your comments below, and also please share this video, and also make sure that you like the video. And also I want to read some comments that people made concerning this whole issue about tourism in the United States of America.
A citizen living in Mexico, so I'm very used to seeing travel warnings like this from the US government, warning their citizens about crime and other things that are occurring in different states throughout Mexico. But did you also know that countries all over the world have travel advisories warning their citizens about traveling to the United States? Like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, France, the UK all have travel warnings warning their citizens about traveling to the US. And they cite things like gun violence, police brutality, mass shootings, even lack of access to healthcare. Canada straight up tells its citizens to familiarize themselves with active shooter drills. New Zealand does the same. Imagine your family getting ready to go on vacation and you're reading about active shooter drills so you're prepared while on vacation. Meanwhile, American kids have been doing that since they've been 5 years old. So maybe instead of clutching our pearls about travel outside of the US, we should take a long, honest look at the very real dangers happening in our backyard, because the rest of the world already is.
There's been a steep drop-off in international travel to the United States. It was down 12% last month, down even more from Western Europe. Why do you think that there are fewer people suddenly who want to travel to the United States?
Well, there could be a little, there's a little nationalism there, I guess, perhaps. It's not a big deal. And our dollar is a little bit on the low side, and that means that a lot of tourism is going to come in. But I could see a little bit nationalism at work, and I could see it likewise with us, not wanting to go to certain countries, but that will work out very easily.
Do you think some people are scared to come here because they hear the stories of tourists who are detained for a few days or even a week or two?
No, we treat our tourists great. We're the tourism capital of the world. There's no place like this. And there may be a little bit of nationalism, but I doubt it.
This tourism crisis nobody's talking about. Foreign visitors are abandoning the U.S. in record numbers, and it's costing billions. Oxford Economics predicts an $8.5 billion drop in international visitor spending this year, while the World Travel and Tourism Organization estimates an even more alarming $12.5 billion loss. The proof? Flight bookings to the U.S. between May and July have already plummeted by over 10%. This isn't just a blip, it's a trend with massive economic consequences. While other destinations flourish, America is losing its appeal to global travelers. What's driving this exodus? And can the U.S. tourism industry recover before it's too late?
Hey, it's Joe from Georgia. Find something very interesting. You know, tourism in America is dropping crazily. And the reason being is, did you know how many countries out there, countries that have been allies of the United States for decades, are putting out travel warnings to their citizens to not come to the United States because they're afraid that these people might not be able to get back out of the United States without being deported to a prison? That's what's being put out there. And we're talking Germany, we're talking France. I mean, it is a list of countries that are putting it out there, countries that have been our allies for years. Did you know that the United States government and our State Department always puts out travel bans, to places like Sudan, places like, don't go to Russia, don't go to any of these war-torn countries that are against America. Don't go to Iran. Don't go to the evil Axis countries, basically, and more because of violence. Well, now we're being shunned by countries that are telling their citizens that it's not safe to come to America. I never thought I would see that day, did you? Did any of you really feel that you would see the day that countries would say that it wasn't safe to come to the United States of America?
This is an insane statistic. The United States under President Trump is 1 out of 184. We are the only country out of 184 around the world where tourism went down. So think about that. Every other country saw an uptick in tourism, but because of President Trump's policies of this insane trade war, making it impossible to do business with other countries, because of his insane immigration policies, of the incoherence, the inhumanity, people don't want to come to the United States. It turns out that when you insult other people's countries, when you try to start a trade war with them, they don't want to come here and spend their money here. And it turns out when people are afraid to come to the United States, they don't come. So the idea that tourism, we're losing about $29 billion so far, and it's not even been a full year, goes to show you that Trump's policies are not only affecting us in terms of our standing in the world, it's affecting our economy, because we are only 5% of the world's population. And then as the world's largest economy, we cannot sustain ourselves as 5% if people don't want to come here and spend their money. This is embarrassing. This is a number one ranking none of us should want, and every one of us should be embarrassed.
So there's been a drop of nearly 80% of persons traveling from Southeast Asia to the United States. Mostly travelers from Southeast Asia to the States would be Vietnam or the Philippines. Travelers are very concerned about discrimination from Trump's administration. Folks, my name is Nick. Love you guys to let me know what you think about this in the comments.
Well, this is what people had to say concerning this issue of tourism. Mary Cherry said, he said he did not need us, so we are just listening to him and leave them to be miserable alone. Another one said, well, no one wants to be accidentally deported while they are on vacation if they happen to be in the wrong shade of human. Another one said that as a Canadian, I won't even be connecting a flight to USA straight through to Mexico, baby. The other one had to say, FIFA needs to grow some and give the WC to the Canada and also give it to Mexico. We do not need the US. Well guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your support, and guys, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please make sure that you subscribe and like this video. And also I want to give credit to all the owners of the video. All credit belongs to them. Thank you very much, and make sure that you join in the next video. Bye and take care.